In 2018, I was a senior graduating high school with $3,000 in my bank account, selling used books that I got from thrift stores on Amazon. Now, 7 years later, we had a $500,000 day on Black Friday and $1 million over that weekend from Black Friday to Cyber Monday just on our primary account. I'm Jasim, CEO and founder of Voadera. We've sold hundreds of millions of dollars on e-commerce marketplaces, primarily Amazon. And this video, I'm going to be talking what I'd do if I started all over. The first thing I would do is understand the unit economics of my products. I would go to Amazon FBA calculator, you can Google it, and understand, at least use that as a primary place. It doesn't have all the fees, but it has a lot of them. It doesn't include stuff like, for example, customer return removal processing fee or lost inbound shipments, all that kind of miscellaneous stuff. I did actually make an entire video about the hidden fees on Amazon. I'll attach at the end of the video. You can check it on the description. But understanding all the fees on Amazon that exist beyond what it was maybe 7, 8 years ago, 6 years ago, the basic referral fees and the pick and pack fees, FBA, they used to call them pick and pack, I think they call them fulfillment fees now. Beyond just that, it's much more complex now. There's inbound placement fees, all that kind of stuff. But at least getting an initial picture of what the pick and pack fee is, what the referral fee for categories is different than other ones. At certain price points now it's different. Like I said before, it's just a flat, I think 15%. Now it varies on dollar amount, all that kind of stuff, and price breaks. So understanding what it is for your products and putting in, especially now with tariffs obviously, putting in your landed costs and what are you left with? What's the at least gross margins of your product? And then you can understand how much you can afford for advertising after that on Amazon platform. What's left after that and what price you have to be in, and does it work out? Because once you understand unit economics, then you can back into a strategy from there. You can understand, okay, the pricing I have is not enough for Amazon, I have to be more. But if you're more on Amazon, you also have to be more on other marketplaces. Otherwise, Amazon is going to suppress your featured offer. Now they used to call it buy box. So understanding your pricing strategy, unit economics, knowing what you can afford, what can you afford for shipping, what can you afford for marketing? Because okay, the margins are really tight, so I have to make sure that the shipments can wait longer, but I want to make sure that I can afford margins. So understanding that into your strategy and starting off with a healthy unit economic strategy is a very key. And one of the most important metrics for e-commerce in general within healthy unit economics is actually revenue per gram. That's why you see a lot of beverage companies, they have a very inefficient revenue per gram, or furniture companies, right? Or seat massagers, right? Entire seat massage, where the revenue per gram, or revenue per pound, for those, they're huge, right? Is very inefficient. And the more you can get a revenue per gram, so like supplements is a perfect example, beauty, a lot of dollars for a little bit of weight, the easier your e-commerce and especially Amazon journey is going to be. So optimize for your very most effective revenue per gram items is the first thing. They're going to be the easiest to jump in with. And if you're still choosing a category, start off with that. But it's going to be you're not going to be fighting an uphill battle. We've still seen large items. We have even a foot massage that we're doing ourselves. I think each one is like 20 pounds. And we're doing really well. It's doing like $4 or $5 million a year with our partner product there. But it's an uphill battle. We have to make up for other stuff. We have to premium position it, whereas other stuff, it's more seamless and easier to grow. The second one is a diversified customer acquisition strategy. Amazon CPC, as Amazon customer acquisition, it used to be actually the cheapest across the board. Now it's still very effective, very efficient. Across AMS, Amazon Marketing Services, and across DSP, Demand Side Platform, specifically though the sponsored product, it's one of the most efficient customer acquisition strategies. But the issue is it's very bottom of funnel. So I wouldn't recommend using Amazon, for example, in a lot of categories. Again, this is very generic, but usually for brand awareness or top of funnel, it's less efficient than influencers nowadays with TikTok and TikTok influencers, or even sometimes Meta. So it's very good when you have, yes, bottom of funnel, it's a certain keyword, the customer's already, even if it's branded is almost free on Amazon basically, it's very cheap. Yes, it's effective there, but understanding that you don't want to over-rely on Amazon ads and that's your only customer acquisition strategy, but you also don't want to under-rely or not use it at all. You want to be balanced and you want to understand, there's a nice concept that I was listening to a session with the CEO of Ridge, and he was talking about the next best dollar. Whereas you have, let's say, for example, the way we look at it, let's say a brand has a budget of 10% for marketing. So $1 million, 10% tacos, that's 100 grand. So right now, usually the most efficient one is we start with sponsored product. We get the low-hanging fruit, the first X dollars, and then we test, okay, are we still getting the same returns for X plus 10%? The next phase of budgeting, we still are. Until we want to find the biggest bang for our buck until we get to the 10% tacos. If we continuously getting there, and let's say we have 100 grand range, right? If the 100 grand on Amazon is getting us 3x, but then 100 grand on TikTok is getting us 2x maybe with influencers. But what if we tried 50 grand on Amazon, 50 grand on TikTok, and the combination got us 4x in sales, 4x ROAS basically, return on ad spend. So understanding the right combination, it's very category dependent. If you're more of a Me Too product, not TikTokable maybe, then yeah, Amazon, bottom of search, people already know what it is. It's a commoditized product, it's more effective there. If you're branded, then you only need to run branding campaigns. You can run other types of campaigns where they're more top of funnel. But then if you're a cool widget or whatever, like for example, one of my friends, he's launching a supplement brand that's ashwagandha and that kind of stuff. And we were talking about strategy a little bit. And we talked about how for him, obviously TikTok is very efficient because it's a specific niche, it's a new trend, it's a cool packaging. He made it specifically for that and it's going very well for him. So every situation needs a different strategy, but understanding where your next best dollar is spent, testing on Amazon, testing on other marketplaces and diversifying your customer acquisition strategy is very important and effective. One thing that's also very important to understand is that Amazon is a demand capture platform. It captures demand that's coming in. It's not a demand generation platform. Now it's becoming a little bit more with yes, DSP and that kind of stuff, but usually the main Amazon interface, it's made to capture demand that's already coming. That's why you're targeting on keywords. So you can check your branded search volume, right? You can go to tools like Helium 10, Smart Scout, not affiliated with any of them, but you can go check them out and see what the existing for your primary keywords, what they are, for your brand name, what it is, and then you can decide whether it's effective to run sponsored product on those kind of stuff, or even sponsored brand video, sponsored headline, etc. Or if they don't have much search volume, then you're just gonna funnel customers there basically, and it might even cannibalize your other channels. So you have to understand overall what the customer acquisition strategy, you wanna ideally grow the pie, not just have Amazon take more of the pie because usually their fees are more expensive than other channels. The third one is optimizing for the Amazon platform. It's very important that you don't treat Amazon similar to any other platform, even not other marketplaces like Walmart and Target, but especially not D2C like your Shopify site or your retail. And that's extremely crucial. I'll give a very simple example, right? We have a product where we have a retail packaging for it. It's ice drop, it's very nice, it's fancy. We wanted to place it in Target and it has a nice exterior, big premium positioning, premium product, all that kind of stuff. But then when you wanted to get it onto Amazon, we used a very different packaging to save on supply chain efficiency, to save on all that kind of stuff. Whereas in Target, we wanted to use bright colors to get the attention of the person that's walking through with it. We talked through the brand strategy on this, but for Amazon, we wanted a completely different thing to optimize for the Amazon platform, to optimize for the supply chain, which I'm gonna talk about right after actually, but also to optimize for safety of the product. It's gonna move more, it's gonna be packaged more, and the certain dimensions, and then the way you differentiate on Amazon is that it's the main image in the title. You're among hundreds of other platforms, hundreds of other brands, and you wanna make sure that you're optimizing for your positioning there, which is the main image, which doesn't have to be the same as the package, by the way, and then the title, and making sure it stands out. Whether you like it or not, your brand a lot of times is not special on Amazon. You're sitting in between hundreds of other brands, and one of the weaknesses for a lot of brands on Amazon is the ratings and reviews function. That normalized or diluted the power of a brand because you're coming into Amazon, even if you're a well-known brand, you might have 100 reviews. A Chinese Me Too product could have 10,000 reviews, and you guys both, let's say, have 4.3 star ratings. Even if you have a powerful, premium sounding brand, he has a big advantage over you. So what you want to do is you want to say, what's your UVP? Put that in the beginning of the title as they're scrolling, because they're seeing reviews and rating as they're scrolling the main page as well. So you want to put your UVP in the beginning. You want to do call outs on the main image, make it clear, big, all that kind of stuff. And one example is like making it bright red, orange, right? So to also stand out, similar to the retail section, so that a customer can choose it as they're scrolling through and it catches their attention because you have milliseconds to capture it. So understand that as you position your product for the Amazon platform, we talked about optimizing the supply chain, but you want to optimize for that platform. Understanding how customer journey works there. The data that you get from Amazon, for example, AMC, retargeting audiences, all this different type of stuff. Just walking through the customer journey, it's very different than D2C. It's very different than TikTok Shop, where there's maybe more research on Amazon. There's reviews reading, understanding what they're complaining about your competitors, putting that in your Q&A, answering all that kind of stuff is extremely crucial. The fourth point that I wanted to mention was the importance of a supply chain strategy as you enter into Amazon. This is for two reasons. One, so that it complements all other channels. And two, so that you have fast, efficient shipping. Let's get into the first one, so that it complements all other channels. So right now, for example, we have 8-figure brands, like 30, 40, $50 million, right, that we partner with to help support on their supply chain. But these brands, they're also in Whole Foods, they're also in Target, they're also in Walmart, they're also in all these other, I'm saying the retail stores, but also they have their own Shopify. Then they have other marketplaces, Target, Amazon, Walmart, for example, Amazon Canada. We put them in Amazon Canada. We grew the revenue by 10% just over that. And then Amazon UK, right? So we have to have a holistic, comprehensive supply chain strategy all the way from the manufacturer to complement all of these various platforms. Now there's fulfilled by TikTok, but there's also merchant fulfilled. So for example, Walmart allows you to MCF, multi-channel fulfilled from Amazon. Target doesn't. They don't like packages coming from Amazon, even if they're white labeled, they don't have a logo, right? And they have suspended people in the past if you're doing Target Plus, right, the online version. So you have to understand that how is Amazon going to fit into everything else? Now you have AWD. How are you going to use that? So that's where we see a lot of sellers lose so much money and so much time and go out of stock because they don't have a comprehensive supply chain strategy. I made actually a video on this as well. You can watch it. It was like a 23-minute whiteboard video on a comprehensive, holistic supply chain strategy, but you have to see how everything fits in. Now that you have FBA, yeah, sure, the first time can be inefficient, just send it straight to FBA, but then the next time, how can you be more efficient? Maybe sending it to AWD and then MCDing, multi-channel, sending a pallet specifically back to your warehouses, or for example, that's what we do when we have it for Target. So then Target will have something else. And then if we're sending it to Canada, we pair the Canada shipment with the Amazon shipment. They both come to our warehouse, but then we're shipping Amazon to, because we want to send it from China in one package, right? And we help support our partners doing that. But then we send Canada on its own, and we send Amazon directly to FBA. We avoid AWD because you only order a certain amount, and then we don't have to pay twice. And then the second part of it is being cost efficient and being also effective. So cost efficient, this is where, for example, you're optimizing AWD, it charges a per box. So it charges $2.16 a box, right? So you want to fit as many items in a box as you can within their parameters of 50 pounds or etc., 24 cubed, I think, inches. And if you fit one item, you're going to be charged $2.16. And if it's 50 items, then it's $2.60. So we redesign the packaging, redesign it to make sure it's very efficient and cost effective for Amazon. Now, even with inbound placement fees, they're going up. There's defect fees, shipping inaccurately, but inbound placement fees is you want to ship it to 5 warehouses. Also arrives fast to 5 warehouses. You're not going out of stock. We see so many people, they use optimized, and then when they don't account for the extra time it's going to take, could be weeks, to inbound it and digest it into Amazon fulfillment centers. And the other important part is to make sure your product is distributed properly across all 48 states. You have one-day shipping, at least across 40 major states, at least across 40 of them that are very densely wide. This is something that's very important. If you're sitting with a competitor and there's, like, let's say right now we're going to Christmas, we have a product that is purposely within 43 states, 1 day or even same day delivery. Our competitor's 2-day delivery. We know that in a few days, people are going to stop ordering from him because they won't meet the cutoff for Christmas, but they will order for us. So imagine our sales. Right now we're sharing sales around 60-40 with them. We're going to take that 40 sales. So that's, let's say this product does around 10,000 units a day at, I think it was like $50. So let's say 4,000 units times 50, what is that? 20,000, 200 grand a day for those 2 days. So that's 400 grand worth of revenue. How much in shipments is that worth? How much is that strategy worth? So understanding that your products are properly distributed, I think that even without Christmas, this is gonna double there, but even outside of main events, just on basic days, the conversion rate between someone getting a same day versus 2 days, the difference is 14%. We tested it on our ASINs. So just understanding that this difference is so important and understanding what happens is a crucial part to see the effectiveness of how quickly your products are going to arrive, to make sure they're distributed everywhere, and to optimize for the Amazon supply chain because it's a different beast. Everything considered, e-commerce, especially Amazon, comes down to 2 things. The first thing is about selling your product. So advertising, product development, understanding your customer pain points, speaking to them in the copy and the creative, all that kind of stuff is the first part of it, which is very important, of course, when we spoke about. The second part that's often very forgot about is moving the stuff. How quickly and how efficiently can you move the products? And how fast can your customers get them? And how cheaply can you do that? All these concepts are extremely important to be successful on Amazon.